Hey, Seasoned Athletes, I'm Robin Leggett, and this is episode 78 of the Seasoned Athlete Podcast. Seasoned Athlete is your home for inspiring stories and motivational advice from competitive athletes representing a wide variety of sports who all share one common bond. They are all over 40 years old. We are here to prove one story at a time that age does not have to prevent you from achieving your bold athletic and fitness goals. If you like what you hear, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, share with your friends, and leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And if you really love us, you can support our ability to continue to bring inspirational stories to you by way of either a one-time donation or by becoming a monthly sponsor. Just go to seasonedathlete.me and click on one of the Support Seasoned Athlete buttons to help support this DIY independent podcast. So we are here at the very next installment of the AGELESS series. This is part 4. So if you've missed parts 1 through 3, go back and check out episodes 75, 76, and 77, and you can catch up on the first 3 installments of the AGELESS series. Now, what is the AGELESS series? Well, this is a series of episodes that give you practical tools for living an ageless life. This isn't about denying your age. This isn't about trying to feel younger. This is about embracing your age and all of the magical benefits that come with aging. All of the things that your years on this earth and the wisdom that come with it can bring to your life. So we talked about assessing your priorities and getting your body strong. That was part 1. We talked about eating for athletic aging. That was part 2. And we talked about leveling up your recovery so that you can really hack your training to its highest potential. Well, you really can't do any of that without what we're going to talk about in part 4. This is the next step in what I call my ageless method, and it's called Empower Your Confidence. This, my friends, is your mental game training. This is your mindset training, and it goes hand in hand with your physical training, because your physical training, what you do for your body, and all of the amazing things you do to train your body and the things you can achieve by training your body can then boost your confidence. It can increase your mental and emotional well-being. But on the other side, you might have a hard time putting in the work to train your body, understanding why it's important and doing the little things each and every day if your mind isn't in the right place, if your mind isn't right. So that's what we're going to talk about. It is both like a cause and an effect of your training. And it all works together. You can't really have one without the other. And one can be a cause and one can be an effect and vice versa. So getting super meta here. But let's talk about what it means to empower your confidence. Well, taking it from the training standpoint, a big aspect of living an ageless life is what it can do for your life beyond your fitness. So when you train for an athletic goal, when you put a race on the calendar or some sort of big, bold, out of your reach goal on the calendar, and you work towards that goal and you achieve that goal, a result that can come from it beyond your body being able to do things that you didn't think it could do is a boost of confidence that you can utilize in all areas of your life. I use myself as an example for this all the time. When I decided to play roller derby, which was a big, scary thing in my life, as I started going through the training to play roller derby and going to the practice and learning new skills and empowering myself in a physical way, I found an increase in confidence in my life. The kind of confidence that would lead me to where I'm at right now, which is I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. I became a fitness trainer because of that confidence. I completely changed and overhauled my entire career. And that's not something that I believe I would have been able to do if I was not challenging myself in a way that was beyond my own expectation, pushing my envelope and pushing myself way beyond my comfort zone. But by doing so, it showed me, wow, that's something I can do, not just for my health and my fitness, but in all areas of my life. So that was how empowering my confidence became an effect of my training. But for those who can't make that first step, can't take themselves to that first roller derby practice, like I had to gather some courage to attend my first roller derby practice. And if I hadn't done that, who knows what would have happened with my life. But if you're not there, if you don't have that mindset that can get you to even try something, if you're locked down and you're limited and you're telling yourself that, that's all well and good, Robin, but this is not for me. Like, this is way beyond anything I could possibly do. This is ridiculous. We're even talking about it. Well, we need to figure out how to empower your confidence first so that you can open up your life, open up your world, and of course, open up your mind to do things that you once thought weren't possible. So I'm going to give you 3 tools that you can use to empower your confidence. If you find that you're struggling and you're either held back by fear, held back by anxiety, held back by self-limiting thoughts, or even limiting thoughts that other people put on you. If you find you're held back, I want to give you a few tips that you can use to empower your confidence. And maybe you'll come out of listening to this ready to try something new, ready to try something that you maybe thought, hey, this would be cool. This would be cool for me to do in my life. Like, I thought about roller derby at first. Like, wow, that's really cool. But like, me? I don't know. Really? Well, maybe there is that thing you're thinking about that you think would be cool, but you've held yourself back for whatever reason. Or maybe it's just the motivation to get up and move while I'm recording this, we're still in quarantine. And maybe you've struggled with that. It's been a couple months and you need to be able to shift your mindset. Well, maybe these tools will help you even just to do that, because that is step 1 to then moving on to achieve bold goals. Okay. So number 1, allowing yourself to believe that whatever it is you want to do is something you can do, whether it's being an athlete in general. And if you don't even have the ability to say that for yourself, that, hey, I can be an athlete or I am an athlete, but just allowing yourself to believe that whatever it is you want to do is in fact within your reach. And that's just about openness. That's just about turning off the I can't and turning on the I'll try. And the biggest thing I have around that is regret generally never comes from trying. Regret comes from not trying. Regret comes from holding you back. But trying something that's new, that's scary, that feels out of your reach, if it doesn't feel right when you're doing it, it doesn't feel right. And then you don't have to do it. But that's not where regret comes from. That's not like I made the biggest mistake of my life. That's more, hey, I tried this thing and it's not my thing. But how will you know if you don't try? How will you know? The only thing you'll have regret from is sitting and knowing that, hey, I wanted to do this, but I didn't. I didn't let myself, or I let other people tell me that it's not something I should do. So openness to trying is huge. And hey, like, I'm talking to people over 40 years old. Listen, we're on the second half of life here. We don't have time to wonder if we should have done something. Now is the time to do. Now is not the time to regret or avoid. Now is the time to do. Take advantage of this time and put yourself out there and try new things. But believe that you can. Like, don't let anyone tell you you can't. Don't let yourself tell you you can't. Try it and then make the call. Okay, because you never know what you might land on that might change your life, like I did when I tried roller derby. That opened the door for me to live an athletic life. It completely changed how I viewed myself and my own capabilities, and then led me to a second athletic calling, which is obstacle racing, running, 5K races, 10Ks, half marathons, and even my first marathon this year. It's opening me up to a world of firsts. And if any of those firsts are things I don't like, and sometimes they are, I don't have to do them again, but I never, ever regret them. So let that be a lesson to you. Okay. Number 2, let's talk about the dirty F word that no one wants to talk about. And don't worry, I don't have to hit the explicit button for my podcast. I'm talking about fear. Fear. Nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to talk about how you can get rid of fear and stop being scared. But here's the deal. Like, fear is a part of humanity. Fear is a thing that helps us protect ourselves so that we don't go out and put our hands on the stove or do stupid things. Also, the nerve endings in our hands also stop us from doing that. But fear is what keeps us heightened. And it keeps things exciting. When I played roller derby, I had to open myself up to being hit really hard by people while on roller skates. And let me tell you, that never stopped being scary, but it didn't stop me from doing the thing. Okay. It just kind of made it a lot more exciting. And when I withstood those fall hits or was able to evade or hit someone myself, well, that was really exciting. But I digress. So fear, I see fear. There's two paths that you can take when fear presents itself in your life. Path number one is avoidance and withdrawal. Something is scary. I don't want it. Get me away from it. Okay. And in certain situations, yeah, when it comes to protecting yourself in actual life or death situations, perhaps avoidance and withdrawal can come in handy. It's a whole fight or flight reflex. But the other side of it is urgency, discovery, and courage. And there's a quote that I love, and I'm going to maul it. I'm going to destroy it. But it's basically, you cannot have courage without fear. Like, you cannot experience one without the other. And so if you want to be brave, if you want to try things that are outside of your comfort zone, you're going to have fear, and then you have the opportunity to be brave and be courageous. And so there's a tactic that I like to use when fear presents itself, but it's not a life or death situation. It's more a scary challenge in your life. And that is, how can you turn fear into respect? So an example I use for this is the Spartan Big Bear race, where it's a Spartan race at Big Bear, which is a mountainous area here in Southern California. It's a high elevation race. It's a notoriously hard course, and people have called it soul crushing. Like, that's what they use to describe the race when people who haven't done it ask about it. And so people are scared. They're like, no, I'm not ready to do that. I'm not ready. I'm scared, whatever. But here's my response to that, is that it's not scary. It's something you should respect. It's something you should prepare for. You don't go into that race and not prepare and get ready and learn everything you can and train in the best possible way, because it will crush your soul. But if you can turn that fear into respect, that means learning everything you can about your opponent. And in the case of that race, the opponent is the mountain. But in any sport, you learn everything you can about your opponent. So in a sport like roller derby or football, you study film, you learn how to exploit weaknesses, and you develop strategies. Well, that's what you would do for a race like this, where the course is formidable and it could provide elevation challenges, breathing challenges, weather challenges. You learn what you can. You study the film. You do your research. And that way you can go into that respecting the opponent, respecting the course, respecting the mountain, but not being crippled with fear. So you're not avoiding at all. You're actually going all in to learn everything you can, because it's important, because there's a sense of urgency. You do the discovery, and then you have the courage to do it. So how can you channel that fear into a healthy sense of respect for what you're about to take on, and see how that helps shift how you feel about this thing, this challenge that has presented itself in your life that you might have avoided previously, but maybe now you're ready to discover it. Okay. So that's my second tip. And then my third and final tip is come up with a mantra for yourself. This is the most simple tip of all is come up with a mantra that you can use when things get complicated, when things get scary, when things get dark, when things get hard. So in the example of racing, in long, brutal courses, you get to that point where you question why you're even there. You think, oh man, I wish I want to go home. Like, this sucks. I hate it. This is awful. It's never going to end. That's when you turn back to your mantra. And I feel like a mantra is more important than ever right now. And we're not necessarily talking about athletics or racing, but life. Because, again, at the time of the recording of this, we're in quarantine. We've been in quarantine for 2 months. We've been cooped up. We've been living differently than we ever have. And for many of us, this is a struggle. This is hard. And it can do a number on your confidence, on your mental game, on your sense of well-being. That's when you pull out your mantra. That's when you say that mantra to yourself so you can snap your brain back into a place of positivity and forward movement, and the ability to, again, turn that fear into respect, embrace it, and believe that you can get through this and not just survive it, but thrive. So those are three tips that I have to empower your confidence, whether it is in this crazy time, whether it's in a athletic or competitive challenge, or your career, your family, any point, any aspect of your life, you can empower your confidence. And I want to help you do that. So that's what I have for Empower Your Confidence, which is the next step in my ageless method. And I'm going to keep coming back. We've got more steps coming up in future episodes. So keep tuning into the Seasoned Athlete podcast. Better yet, subscribe so it shows up in your podcast library and you're ready to go. And you could be the first to listen and get your next step in the ageless method as part of this ageless series. Thank you for listening to the Seasoned Athlete podcast. The music you heard in this episode is from a truly ageless musician, Jason Achilles. Learn more about him at jasonachilles.com. Hey, Seasoned Athletes, Robin here. If you want to fast track your way to living an ageless life, I want to personally invite you to my upcoming Ageless and Awesome Virtual Summit, taking place on Saturday, May 23rd at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time. The Ageless and Awesome Virtual Summit is for women over 40 who want to gain confidence, overcome obstacles, whether they are on the race courses or in your life, and truly become the ageless athlete that you are meant to be. I've invited some of my favorite experts to share their knowledge with you on topics such as creating a simple and streamlined fitness routine that fits into your life. I've invited some of my favorite experts to share their knowledge with you on topics such as creating a simple and streamlined fitness routine that fits into your life, developing realistic and workable healthy nutrition habits, and implementing practices to help you face fear, reduce anxiety, and gain energy and vitality in your life. This is a day just for you. You'll get to connect with other women over 40 who are striving to live an ageless life, just like you. And you'll come out of this event feeling inspired, empowered, and ready to embrace your agelessness. If this sounds exciting to you, which it should, go to seasonedathlete.me and click on the bar at the top of the page to get the full details, get to know the presenters, and reserve your spot. I'll see you at the Ageless and Awesome Virtual Summit on May 23rd. In the meantime, my fellow seasoned athletes, stay safe, stay strong, and be extraordinary.